And we are back with another exciting episode of the Creators Collective, ready to have another fun and terrifyingly good week. I do want to say a huge thank you to our patrons on Patreon, particularly Darren Mates, Caleb Harris of YouCanMakeThisToo, and Judith Grass. Thanks for helping us out and making this show better. If you'd like to listen to us regularly, we do record live on YouTube, Creators Collective channel, and we do that every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So you can join us there.
Wait. Do we want to announce?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Oh, all right. Well, you just told everybody that we would meet every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Well, we will for the next week. But on that note, we are actually going to be switching things up and just recording once a month. We've found that it's been causing a little bit of an issue with our lives going crazy and having other things happening in life. So rather than canceling the podcast altogether, we just decided we're going to back it down for once a month for right now. If that works out well, we may take it back in the future. So let us know what your thoughts on that. But we'll be recording from here on out the first Thursday of the month at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So we'll be recording next week, and then after that, it's once a month after that. So let us know your thoughts on that. We'll love to hear that.
So I'm hoping. Thank God, there's way too much of you guys. I'm excited.
So we're hoping that that'll kind of give us more meat, with what we're working on, and maybe entirely finished projects instead of the
rarity makes the value greater. Right?
That's right. Yeah, scarcity. That's right. We're just driving up the value of the podcast.
Cool. Let's get into what we're working on. Zach, what you got?
Moving.
Yeah, I saw that. That place looks awesome.
Yeah, pretty excited. I posted a picture of it. I don't know. Must have been between last podcast and now, judging by your reaction. Yeah, it's the house is, I can't remember what size it is. It's decent size. It's not big. We're gonna take out a room, and it's a decent size house, but the rooms are small and there's too many of them. So we're gonna try and combat that by removing a room and making the other rooms bigger. So. The shop is about 1,700 square feet, and it's fully insulated. So that's exciting. It has, so one of the weird things is that I think the guy built the guy built a like a room inside of it, in a kind of a secondary dwelling. So there's like a little office, and there's a bedroom, and there's a full bathroom in there. Which half it I'm excited about, half it I might gut. I don't know. The bathroom is cool. I think that'll be nice to have, at least I don't have to worry about plumbing and water and that sort of thing. So
yeah,
that'll certainly be handy. So that's going to stay.
So did it actually go through?
Yeah. I mean, there's apparently nothing truly goes through until you show up and get the keys and wire money over. But yeah, I mean, everything is, it's set to go.
There's always problems that happen hours before.
I hope there better not be, because we're going to show up with all of our stuff.
Yeah. Just squat. Who cares?
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So there's like a office and a bedroom that's pretty good size. And I'm thinking initially I was like, okay, I'm just going to knock that out and reclaim my shop space. But then I'm like, it'd be kind of nice to have a clean room in there where I could,
space?
What's that?
For detailing, not finish?
Well, for anything that I don't want to get dirty, it could be like a leather room, or for painting parts, or for epoxy, since I do so much epoxy work. That was sarcasm, by the way.
I laughed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think it would be handy to have a place that's closed off from the rest of the shop. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe I'll make it smaller, because I mean, it's just kind of trying to find the balance between shop space and clean room space. But I could certainly find use for a sectioned off area. So I guess we'll see about that. We get our keys the 24th of June. Mm-hmm. My wife starts her job the 24th of June. So everything is really complicated, because we can't move anything in until the 24th, and we have to be there on the 24th. So trying to coordinate all of this stuff is really stressful. But it's good. It's happening. So that's
Could you
Handcrafted by
not-
Hans is asking Zach, when can I come over and pick up the hydraulic press and everything? Just so you don't have to move them.
show up with a check and it's all yours.
Could you not get like those pods or whatever? Like, do you think
That's what I'm trying to do. The trick is with a lot of that is like not all of their sizes are shippable like out of state. Like they have like certain ones that are for local and certain ones that are. But I'm trying to get a hold of them because I'm trying to see if they want to work with me, and maybe I could do a video of me moving my shop and setting it up. And
that's a good idea.
I've reached out to a couple of moving companies because I know I've seen a few people work
Paul
with them
Jackman
in the
did that.
past. So that would be awesome because it's the big. I mean, it's easy to rent a truck for the house. That's not a problem. The shop presents some challenges because a lot of my equipment you can't roll up a gate for a normal moving truck. Like that 25-ton press is not going up a ramp 48 inches high. It's not going to happen.
Finding a lift gate that'll actually lift that.
Yeah, and then lift gates are like
500 pounds.
So no, they're fine, but they just don't exist. And everybody's gonna be like, "Well, have you tried?" Yes, we've tried all of them. They want like the last place we quoted to move my shop wanted $11,000.
Whoa.
Well, that was for everything. That was to move our whole house. But finding a truck with a lift gate that you can actually, because there's a lot of lift gates, but they have to be local. Then when it comes to doing like a cross country move, it is not.
Have you thought about getting a local lift gate truck and then backing it back to back with another truck and rolling it off of one truck onto the other truck, and then doing reverse when you get there?
Yeah, I don't know. It shouldn't be this hard. It's stupid. This is dumb. That's why I'm hoping that like Pods or like one of these companies that have those units that sit like, 6-8 inches off the ground. Then I could make a ramp, get it up there, no problem. That would be the way to go.
Especially with like the shop stuff where you don't have to have it at the house on time.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you rent a dump trailer, lift it up, bring that to a freight terminal and have them unload it with a forklift and load it on a freight truck?
When it gets like 2 or 3 steps removed, I just give up. I don't want to orchestrate like a bank heist to get my damn press across the country. Like that's like sounds like Die Hard 2 with all the concrete trucks and stuff.
Okay, but now I have a question. How did you get the press into your shop? Like, how did it?
It was on a pallet and it was delivered via lift truck, like freight. But which should be fine, but I'd have to like unbolt it. I have no way to like just putting the wheels on it from the pallet was a nightmare. So imagine like trying to get it back on a pallet, take the wheels off, and then bolt it to a pallet.
And you don't have a ceiling winch.
Yeah, it's just not. It's just
build a gantry.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Or rent a forklift.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a big pain in the butt. So I'm hoping. I think these like for moving a shop. That's why I'm really trying to hopefully hear back from one of these companies soon because I feel like this is a problem for a lot of people. I can't be the only one who has like equipment that is, when you have to move non-local like this, that nobody's made this easy. So if I can get like Pods or one of those companies to allow me to show them that this is a beneficial system for people who are moving heavy equipment, that would be awesome. So we'll see what happens.
Cool.
It's probably Florida's fault.
That's another good reason why.
It's been like 107 degrees here. Like the heat index has been like 107, 109 degrees like the past week. It's not even June yet.
So are we going to have a new complaint about Ohio section?
It's too flat.
It is a bit flat.
Actually, that area of Ohio is not bad. It's because you're starting to get in the foothills.
I mean, it's pretty compared to the Northwest. It's pretty flat, but it's going to have a lot more elevation than Florida.
I guess it's a good thing we're taking a month break so you can actually move.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what you got, Will?
Man, what do I have? Yeah. So yesterday, I went out. So last podcast, I talked about this project that I needed a metal ring rolled. So yesterday, I went out to the my friend Steve Brownell's school. He runs the Virginia School of Metal. I had called him and said, hey man, like I'm having a hard time like thinking about how I can roll this steel. Do you have a roll? And he's like, yeah, I think I got one in the back. And so I went out there and he did have one in the back. Like we had to like move a bunch of stuff and like pull it out of a closet. And it was a Bailey Industrial motorized roller. It was great. Made it super easy. So we rolled 1/4 inch by 2 inch steel into about a 20-inch ring. He told me he was going to charge me, and then I got there, and because it's a school, he was showing one of his students how to roll metal. And I figured that I was going to have to grind it and weld the ring shut. But I didn't have to do anything. It was great. I just got to film it all. Then he had a student cut it, grind it, weld it, TIG weld it, and then grind it again, clean it up. And then when I went to go pay him, he was like, nah, don't worry about it. It was a good teachable moment. I was like, wow, that's really cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks, man. That was.
So are you going to do like the wheelwright's method of heating up the ring and then shrinking it down onto the plug?
No, because it's going to be 2 separate pieces.
Oh, that's right. You want to have that separation in there.
Yeah, so it's going to be 2 separate pieces, so that wouldn't work. It would just make the
Crush
two. Yeah, it would just crush it together. No, so that and I might actually CNC. So this is going to be like a God. I can't believe I'm saying this. River table-esque thing, but I'm not touching it with epoxy. It's going to be the classic Greg Clausen style with the custom piece of glass inserted, I think, or I'll just keep it open. I don't know.
I actually had a dream about Zack building a river table the other night. And he built a steel slab river table and poured epoxy in between 1.5-inch thick slabs of steel.
Huh.
It's almost like the Third Coast Craftsman. It's almost like Chris's steel river table. Did you guys ever see that video?
Yeah, steel down the middle.
Yeah. So instead of epoxy, he had custom cut steel down the middle.
Should just do an ocean table. That's just all epoxy.
Just all epoxy. Have you guys seen those cutting boards, like the beach cutting boards? I think designs by Donnie does them.
Uh-huh.
Those are pretty slick. Although I've heard about like how epoxy isn't, unless you use like an FDA approved epoxy, it's not really.
There's people who complain about everything.
That's true.
I wonder, like, I don't know. There's like just certain things that I'm excited to see what happens in like 6 years. Like I can't wait to like turn on like one of those like house renovation channels, and they walk into a room and they're like, pallet wood walls and epoxy river tables. It's so 2010s.
Yeah. Can we get some chair rail around this room?
I wonder what's going to come back. It'll be something that's like,
it's probably a shaker dresser. That's what I'm really going to start making a lot of money.
It could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder. There's got to be something that's like maybe paneling is going to come back. Like the last thing that
wallpaper.
Yeah. Actually, I think wallpaper is coming back.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, what's the worst? I mean, but it's not as bad as it was in like the 60s or 70s. Not yet. I'm sure in 50 years it'll be just as bad, but like the patterns and stuff aren't
I don't know.
God awful.
I just got turned on to this blog. I think it's called Belgian Pearls. And it's all about like super high end traditional God, I'm totally blanking. Like molding and millwork, like super traditional millwork in like rooms with like crazy wainscoting and all this stuff. It's really cool. I mean, it's like what you'd find in like a British mansion. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's good. That's a good thought though. Like, what's the next round of
shag carpet in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Like historically, I wonder what the worst thing that
disco
has gone by.
Disco.
Like stylistically, I think maybe shag carpet would be a good example of like the worst thing coming back into style. Again.
Yeah,
I don't
so
think
just to
that
get
one's
us
never coming back. It's just like I don't think we knew enough about like filth in the 60s and 70s to understand.
well,
like,
it
how
was to hide the
disgusting shag
filth.
carpet was. What's
It
that?
was to hide the filth and the
It goes farther
cocaine.
down in. You don't have to see it.
Yeah, you just don't even sweep. You just like rub it in.
Gross.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, so I'm heading back to the Virginia School of Metal today. When I was out there yesterday, Steve was telling me about how they had this new machine, and it kind of it hurt my brain a little bit. So it's from Miller, and it's augmented welding, and so it's a teaching tool. So it's like virtual reality welding. So there's no actual sparks or anything like that, but it's to learn. It's basically like a driver's test for welding, and like without having to waste steel or like anyway. So the Miller rep is coming out today to train on that, and I just wanted to go check it out and kind of see it all goes. And I'm going to meet the Miller rep.
I want to see a video on that.
Yeah, so I'm bringing my camera and maybe I'll start developing a relationship with Miller. I don't know. I know they're not big into social media like LinkedIn.
We're gonna have issues.
Yeah, right. A duel.
Yeah.
I don't actually think anything is going to come to fruition because I don't think they do anything social media wise.
Not yet. I'm sure they will because Lincoln is like absolutely like just they're killing it with their social media stuff. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to talk to the rep about today. Like, hey, look at Lincoln. They're your direct competition.
Yeah.
And I've been researching. So I've got a 14-foot equipment trailer, 10,000 pound equipment trailer, and I've been researching the best method for winching logs onto it without using a log arch, because I share the trailer with a buddy of mine.
You need to rent a Matt Cremona.
I do need to. That dude, he's like Mighty Mouse, man. Like he is small but packs a wallop. That guy is like yeah, he moves some slabs. But I'm researching. I'm thinking pretty hard about getting a sawmill. So
I had a design for a trailer. It has a ramp that is smooth enough, and you slide the log on.
Yeah, I just went on YouTube just to like look to see how guys are doing it. And one guy literally had cut like dimensional 2x4s or 2x6s out of oak and made it like a stop block that sat on the edge of the trailer, and it made like a ramp. And as the log went up and got weighted, then it just kind of lifted the other end of the log up. And it was like, I mean, it was like,
what if you got like a boat trailer? Because they have like that valley in the center, which would be perfect for a log.
Yeah.
And you'd like fill it, like weld in some metal plates or something so that it's like smooth. And then you can just put a winch on the front of the trailer and drag it up.
That's a good idea, but I already have a trailer.
Oh,
and
that sucks. You should give it to me because I need one to move and then buy a boat trailer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Or you can watch videos of those crazy like Russian people. Like
that like lift them on their shoulders.
No, like I don't know, as far as like they've got to be like the most innovative, like do the most with the least amount of things, culture, like in the world, I think.
I believe that.
You've seen the video, like this guy's got like a dump truck, and I think he's actually putting a log into it. And what he does is he sticks a bar between like the lug nuts on the rear wheel of the dump truck, like a 15-foot piece of steel, or maybe it bolts onto the lug nuts. So he bolts it parallel, so it's hanging behind the truck, and it's bolted. So when he drives forward, it's a big lever that moves forward. So he ties the end of the lever to a log and drives forward. And as he drives forward, the tire rotates the lever that's attached to the lug nuts and picks up the log and puts it. So he drives it until the tire rotates 90 degrees and then just unbolts it and drops the log in the back of the truck. I'm like, how? Like it's amazing. It's so simple, but it's like such a brilliant.
What did Archimedes say?
Give me a lever long enough, I'll lift the earth.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Well, you stole the words right out of my mouth, James. but at least I got the right guy. Yeah. So that, and yesterday I knocked out. So I finished flooring through the bathroom that I'm finishing in the basement, and my plumber is coming tomorrow to put all the supply valves on and all that good stuff that I don't want to do. And so yesterday I knocked out a bathroom vanity carcass with a solid walnut carcass side that'll be a show face with a walnut face frame, and I've got a marble top that's going to set on top, and it just felt really awesome yesterday just to knock something out and like get it done and like be done with the project in a day.
Did you have to like reroute your plumbing stuff or no?
No. I when I built the house, I had roughed in for a bathroom there because I had forethought, which was
Forethought?
which was like a nice surprise and change in my normal whatever. So I just built I built the basement basically around that bathroom. Like, okay, the bathroom has to be here because I have the rough-in plumbing there, and then I just kind of made everything around that. And then I had him stub out once I had the walls built, I had him stub out plumbing where the vanity would be, and put the toilet flange in and all that good stuff.
I'm gonna need to be doing that fairly soon, I think, because the house, like I said, the house is decent size, but it has one too many bedrooms, so we're gonna take that out, and the master bathroom definitely needs to grow a little bit. So,
are you well versed in like framing and construction? Have you ever done that?
Framing, yeah. I mean, I don't know well versed. I've done enough to, like, I'm sure that won't be a problem. Like, I've done framing and drywall. I haven't really done any actually remodeling. Like, I've helped put up some new stuff before, but
Okay.
I'm sure I could figure it out. Or I know people that can figure it out if I want to have have a fun weekend at my new shop.
Just make sure none of those walls you're taking out are load bearing before you start knocking them down.
Yeah. Yep, that's definitely something I will want to. I think Phil from CNC Metal Design was, because I had the same question, like, how do you tell? And he's like, usually if it's running perpendicular to the rafters, that's load bearing. Usually if it's parallel, it's not. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it, but that seems like a good rule of thumb.
General rule of thumb.
Is it on a crawl or a basement?
You want to go by rules of thumb when you take walls out of houses.
You're
like, it's probably okay.
Is it on a crawl or slab or a basement?
Slab.
Oh, okay.
Is that good? Is that better?
Well, I was going to say, if it was in a crawl or a basement, you could just go underneath and see if there's any like glue-in beams or something to see if it's picking up a load.
If you go up into the rafters above, you'll be able to see if the rafters are designed to span all the way from one side to the other, or if they're cut halfway and half the rafters sitting on the wall.
Make Brooklyn says if the roof falls down, it's load bearing.
Yeah,
a good rule of thumb as well. So why would anybody want a crawl space when you could have a slab?
Framing a floor box on a crawl space is easier than on a slab.
Yeah. Also, it gives you access for running things around in the future.
Plumbing, electrical, HVAC.
Dust collection.
Doing the floor would be easier on a slab than a crawl space.
So you need to have pressure.
Myself.
So you need to have pressure treated plates. Your exterior walls, you either need to tap con into the concrete or have anchor bolts to bolt them to, which I'm dealing with right now on the cantina that I'm building. And so every wall I have I have to stand up and then lift it over the anchor bolts, set it down on the anchor bolts, and then bolt them down.
Okay.
And it's just a pain in the butt. And if it was just on a floor box, I could just stand them up by myself.
If you forget anything with a slab, it's stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't change anything in the floor in the future.
Yeah, because you're gluing it down.
Crawl space, you can always put in electrical or run cables from one side to the other or whatever you need.
Hide bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Popular use.
I have a few of those.
That's your 18th channel.
Yeah.
How to hide dead bodies
with James Wright.
Yes.
You make your own lime.
Yeah, right. All right. So James, what are you up to? And then we have a good question in the live chat. But
I'm actually just trying to keep my head above water, still trying to get back, and then come to find out, both of my both of my mothers, my mom and mother-in-law, are in and out of the hospital for heart issues, and so we've been doing that. So it's been kind of interesting time here. But I'm finally getting back around to making videos. I had uploaded so many ahead of time that I was just riding on what I had done before the trip, and so now I'm running out of content and having to shoot more. And I'm doing one that I've had people asking me now for over 3 years. How do you sharpen a molding plane with all the concave and convex cutting edges?
Yeah, I'd watch that.
And I did one a while ago, sharpening the irons on a Stanley 55, which are molding plane irons, and so it's the exact same thing. But even when someone asks me, how do you sharpen a molding plane, I send them to that. They're like, well, yeah, but how do you sharpen a molding plane? So I'm doing a video dedicated to molding planes. That should be coming out later today. And I'm making I'm Saturday's video. I'm really excited about. I'm making a pool cue traditionally, so a single piece of wood lengthwise.
What wood are you using?
White oak, of course.
I would use like ash or.
Well, maple is actually one of the preferred woods. It transfers the connection pretty well, and it's smooth.
Yeah, I was gonna say white oak. I think it would lead to like splinters.
Yeah, but I have a lot of white oak, and I like the feel and look of white oak, and it looks fantastic with boiled linseed oil.
Balsa pool cue.
It'd be super light.
But yeah, it was one of those interesting things.
Just accordions when you hit the ball.
Yeah.
They, historically, I just kind of assumed that they were made with, a lathe. You turn it because it's round. But being so long and so thin, that's almost impossible unless you have, rests and other things like that set up for it, and it just takes more time. And historically, they were just set up on a sled and planed down to a round dimension.
Huh.
I was going to say spoke shape.
I wonder if you could make some sort of like jig that's like has the right amount of angle to it to where you can just
that's basically what it is.
To where you just like sand or cut to where it's perfectly flush at the right angle, and then you end up with a round rod, like a bolster plate, sort of like how they make chopsticks.
Yeah.
How do they make chopsticks? I don't know.
Just like I don't know. That's one of the ways.
Well, it's done basically the same way.
There's more than one way to make a chopstick, William. Shirt number 2.
Yeah.
No, I said I have a yoke that it sits in lengthwise, and the yoke has a taper on it, so the plane will eventually bottom out. But the nice thing about planing it round is that you can use a scrub plane, which will take off far more material than a spoke shave. And so I can actually scrub it down about 2 to 3 times faster than I would be able to saw it down, at least by hand. And so I could, if I got down to it, I could turn out a fully finished pool cue from rough blank to finish on in under an hour.
Jeez.
Wow.
So it's a pretty simple project once you have the method
just
for
one piece, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know when the last time I've seen one that. Well, I guess the ones that like pool
Well,
halls don't screw.
that's actually because
with the diamond pattern that goes around there.
Yeah, scallop.
Yeah.
Historically, they were one piece, but you can turn them if you cut them in half. You can turn them on a lathe and produce them quicker.
And you can,
and you can fold them up and carry them.
That's right. I was going to say you can
bring your own cue to a bar and feel like George Thorogood circa 1988.
Nah, Paul Newman, man, Fast Eddie Phillipson.
I don't think I've actually seen that one.
Fast Eddie or Color of Money, where he comes back as Fast Eddie, and Tom Cruise is now the pool hustler.
Huh.
Man, all right.
But
what happened to pool?
Video guy, and now
it had like its like heyday in like the 90s. Like it seems like maybe before then too. I just wasn't alive.
Well, so pool tables. All right. So 2 things. I used to be a bouncer, number 1, and number 2, I played in a pool league, and we actually got sent to Vegas because we won the Virginia national or the Virginia regional tournament or whatever. Our team did. So we got to go to Vegas and then lost. But I used to be a bouncer, and things you don't think about. pool tables bring in a rough crowd because then you get late in the night and people start putting money on things, and then people start fighting about the bet, and then you cheated. And
I think it's funny because like on TV and movies, they always portray like pool players as like rough and tough and like fighting and betting. And like every time I've seen like a pool league, they're like the most submissive, like
it's a bunch of old fat white guys. Yeah.
It's like a geriatric like family barbecue or something.
Well, there's difference.
I mean, I'm completely generalizing. I'm sure there's somebody who's like,
so there's difference.
There's that one guy who's actually upset.
Well, there's like the difference between APA, which is the American Pool Association, rules, and like the way that people play bar rules. And so APA guys are like, it's a really weird the way that they score everything. You're assigned a number of like a level of how good you are. Like I was a 5, and if I had to play a 3, I had to win 5 games to their 3, and it was like this whole whatever. But bar pool is like a lot different than league pool.
Huh.
James, you should talk about that in your video.
Well, we came to the conclusion that now, once I finish the bed, my next project will be building a pool table. So I don't think I've seen a video of making a pool table.
Where are you going to get the slate?
I don't know. We'll find one, but it would definitely be a solid 1-inch slate.
That's crazy.
And
that's
got to lug that downstairs.
Be heavy.
Yeah. Hey, I've lugged heavy things up and down the stairs.
You should do an inflatable pool table.
Oh, Mick Brooklyn just said a great video idea for James would be how to hide bodies with only hand tools.
Yeah.
So we do have a question. I know we've kind of gone off the rails like we do.
We do.
But
how many episodes?
126.
Yeah, we don't
have no rails.
We don't care. It's just gonna go where it goes. Just let it happen.
It's organic. No, but Derek Auns has a good question in the live chat. So obviously Zack is about to find out, but do you think that having to rearrange or move your shop would push you towards producing different styles of products?
You know, I think that rearranging the shop is a symptom of changing as opposed to it causing the changing.
Are you thinking like chicken or the egg?
I can see that. I can see that going both ways. Like,
I mean, if I want to build the big table, I had to move things around to fit the table in my shop. So I moved the shop around in order to create the product, not moving the shop around and then finding I can create a product now.
That's true. I mean, in the past, I think that's very true for rearranging. Because like if you watch any of my videos, like a few apart, my shop is laid out totally different. Like every probably 2 or 3 videos, the layout's totally different. And then when I started doing a lot of forging, it made a huge change. And like you said, that's mostly to accommodate the projects that I have in mind or that I want to build. The rearranging happens to make space for that. But the move, I think there's a lot of things that I've wanted to do that are just way outside of the scope of possibility for the shop that I'm in right now. So I think having the space will make it'll open up a lot of possibilities for builds that just are not feasible or would not be possible in my current space. So I think that's going to make a really big change for what I'm capable of doing. And also I'll be able to alternate. So if I want to start one project and I have to wait on something, I can push it to the side and go do something else instead of, when you're confined to a space like I have been, it's pretty much you have room to do one thing at a time.
Well, along that lines, Handcrafted by Auns actually said to clarify, he's not necessarily referring to changing the space around, but changing actual spaces. So like you're doing, moving to a new shop.
Yeah. Yeah. I think certainly it's going to have a huge impact on what I'm able to do. I'm going to be able to do just nonstop river tables now. I'm going to have room to just
14-foot river table.
Yeah.
All right. So branching off,
I'll actually have a stream running through my river table in the backyard.
So branching off that, my buddy Jordan, actually, I'm in his shop right now. He's not here, but he commented, branching off that question, have you found that bigger or newer tool additions to your shop over time has altered what or how you build things? I would certainly say, yeah. Like once I got a 20-inch planer, I could do glue ups, table, like the top glue ups for like a dresser or a vanity or something like that, which are generally about 20 inches deep, and then just clean it up at the planer instead of like, making everything like either hand plane it or sand it all flush, because there's always like the little ridges, even though you've done a really good glue up, there's always cleanup after a glue up. But yeah, I mean, I think, and Zack, like once you got your big, hydraulic press, I think you started forging more hammers.
Yeah. Yep.
James, once you got a, chisel.
Yeah, I was about to say, my you may have a 20-inch planer, but I have a 26-inch hand plane.
Wow. How long is my jointer plane? I've got a number 6. How long is a number 6? Or maybe it's a 7.
6 is 22 inches.
All right. Well, motion in the ocean.
I think I have a 7. Do I have a 7? I can't even remember. I haven't used a hand plane in so long.
I think you do have a 7. I think I remember seeing it in a video. I
don't think I have an 8 or a 9. I might have an 8.
Well, a 9 is a block plane.
I don't have that then. I think I do have a 7. It's been so long. Isn't that sad? My hand tools are just waiting to be used again.
Yeah, you put that whole bench a while ago, and then doing all steel.
Well, that's the other thing is space. I can't use it because it's full of like steel, literally, like all of my forging steel and tool steel and stuff. It's just piled hammers and like stuff. I just don't have enough space to do. Like I'm kind of like we were talking about earlier. I've rearranged my shop to accommodate the thing that I'm currently into, which is forging. And it makes it really difficult if I want to do some sort of woodworking or even metal fabrication. Like I just don't have the room to do more than one thing. And, having a setup in the new space, I think it'll be a lot easier if I want to go and, make some, if I want to work some sort of wood into the project or weld something up, I'll actually have the space to where I don't have to clear out and rearrange the shop to do that. So I think that's going to be a big thing.
So I will say, so I've got a wood side of my shop and a metal side of my shop because I have the space to do it. When I'm working mostly with wood, the metal side of my shop, like my welding table, gets covered in just stuff. And so when I want to weld, I have to like clean off the welding table and like put everything away and probably put it on like my workbench on the other side of the shop. And then I'm welding. So I feel like the bigger the shop you have, the more horizontal spaces you have to catch crap.
Exactly. How big is your space now?
It's about 1,000 square feet.
Oh, really? Holy crap. I had no idea it was that big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got a 2,000 square foot basement, and I partitioned it halfway, so it's about 1,000 square feet. Yeah,
that's really big.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it.
With a beam right in the middle.
Yeah, with a beam right in the middle, with lolly poles holding it up that get in the way. But James has seen it. It sounds really big, but it's actually pretty well filled.
How like everybody always tells me. They're like, you're going to be blown away by how fast you fill up that space.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it when people tell me that.
No matter how big the shop is never big enough until it's suddenly too big and you find yourself walking all over the place constantly.
I feel like it's like tractors and chainsaws. It's like you always want a bigger chainsaw until you want a smaller one, or you always want a bigger tractor until you want a smaller one.
I don't think it's ever going to be as bad as like I am now space-wise, because like it's hard. It's hard to move in my shop. Even like though I have to push like half it out into the driveway, it's still like you have to like walk sideways between things all the time. Like you don't just walk you don't ever face forward when you walk in my shop. You're like sidestepping around everything. So hopefully that'll never happen again.
Yeah, Handcrafted by Auns just asked, why didn't Stanley? Make Brooklyn asked, why didn't Stanley make a 3.14 plane? I mean, I think it's about time for a pie plane.
Nice. That's our terrible joke of the week.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have one yet. So
19 by 18. So my current shop is 342 feet.
That's tiny.
Yeah, and there's like stuff. Like there's like a huge sprinkler pump and stuff taking up a ton of space. So and water heater and stuff. So it's even effectively, it's less than that. So the new one is what, 30 by 56, which is 1680 divided by, what did I say, 342?
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's going to be about 5 times larger.
My shop is 220 square feet.
Ooh,
Mine is 960.
nice. Well, I'll get 5 times the space, so that's going to be nice.
You can get 5 times more crap.
5 times more crap. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So what is the best thing about Switzerland?
We did that one last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
It was such a good joke that I forgot the punch.
I don't know, but the flag's a plus.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember now.
Now the joke I told on my live the other night was, I think, one of my new favorites. I invented a brand new word the other day. Plagiarism.
Nice.
That's good. I remember when I used to like nostalgia. Oh, how many more can we do?
Cool. Let's get into what's inspiring us. What are we watching? Will?
Is that loud?
How to load logs on the trailers without a log arch. Then it's surprisingly simple. A winch and like a makeshift ramp lever thing.
Huh.
So I just need a winch
right now.
What's that?
I was just looking up the video. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like super simple, right? Like it's like, oh, that's okay. That was a lot easier than I was thinking.
I wonder if I can find like the. I'm typing in Russian tire lever. We'll see if that comes up with the video.
You might have to NSFW.
It sounds like a good thing. I don't know. I don't even know how to find that video.
I used to date a girl once. No. All right.
Yeah, especially if you could make that so it could move at different points rather than just being in the middle.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
If you have it in the middle, then you can always roll the log to one side or the other.
Yeah.
As long as the log is rollable.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to saw it anyway, you probably want it to be somewhat rollable.
Unless you're Matt Cremona.
Yeah, that's true.
So what we're talking about, go ahead and click. The link will be in the description of the podcast. There's the word.
I can't find the video. If anybody has the link or knows what I'm talking about.
I just posted it in the chat.
Yeah, he's talking about the Russian log lever.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, it's probably banned in this country.
I think my number one demographic of views, I think outside of the US, is Russia.
Yeah, same here.
I'm kind of a big deal in Russia, apparently.
I'll have to look into it. I haven't looked at mine lately.
It's only been in the last year or so.
Huh?
It's only been in the last year or so.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what is inspiring you, James?
I have to go with one of my old standbys, Mr. Chickadee.
Yeah.
He doesn't put them out very often, but when he does, they're definitely worth watching, and they're always kind of an interesting look back. He just did a Q&A talking about how he got into it and what in the world he was thinking. It was kind of interesting because it feels very similar to why I got into my hand tool. So if you haven't seen Mr. Chickadee, definitely a channel worth looking at. He is 108,000 subscribers, so very, very, very good channel.
Cool.
What about you, Zach?
I don't think anything is just the idea of moving.
The idea of moving.
Yes, the thought of that's been my fire. I'm really work-wise, I'm actually very uninspired. I can't bring myself to do any more work because it's.
You going to make that 100th hammer?
No, I'm not going to.
100th is the first one in the new shop?
Yeah, I was going to do it here, and I'm like, we have like about 3 weeks before we have to be ready to go, and it's just been brutally hot here, and I feel like I don't have time. I need to focus on trying to get the move orchestrated and everything figured out, and I just don't want to. I don't want to say I'm feeling uninspired. I'm just feeling like there's other things that I really need to take care of. So, yeah. So
Sweet.
Nothing.
Well, do you have a favorite product of the week? Something you've been using other than the internet looking for shipping containers?
God, no, I don't. Let me think about that. Circle back.
What about you, Will?
I've got to go with my Grizzly G0454Z 20-inch
Is that
20-inch
for real, or did you
planer.
make all of those?
No, that's for real.
Oh, okay.
20-inch spiral head planer.
Also comes in handy as an eye chart.
What?
Yeah, sounds like
yeah. Yeah, the 20-inch planers it's been getting a lot of workout. Working on this. A buddy of mine came by the shop and had me. Actually, two different guys came by the shop and had me get some rough sawn stuff down to S4S for them. And just realizing like that I have that capability and it's so easy for me to do is like one of those, like, you kind of take it for granted for, like when you're in your shop every day and then you realize that like, oh, not everybody can just take rough sawn lumber and make it smooth and pretty and flat. Like, and just go, yeah, sure, I'll just do it. It'll take 2 seconds. So yeah, I go with that. And if you want to save 10% on the G0454Z on grizzly.com, use code Walker10 and save 10%. No, so that's my favorite tool.
Sweet.
How about you, James?
Well, I have a problem in my shop. I have a lot of moisture, and unfortunately, it causes all of my wooden planes to start molding.
Wow, that was bad. That was really
I
bad.
love my molding planes. Yeah, no, I've been having fun. I sharpened up a couple of them for the video, and I don't use molding planes that often because I don't do a lot of molding around furniture.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then I'll get the chance to do one, and it is just truly enjoyable. A lot of fun, and so I do like playing with my molding planes. Did you come up with something, Zach?
No.
Are you gonna start purging all your crap?
I don't know. So
that feels so good to purge.
Yes, it does.
I use almost everything. That's the problem. I might get rid of my oxyacetylene torch and just buy a new one because I don't want to drive that across the country. It's like a bomb.
Yeah. You gotta like
I've seen the aftermath of like acetylene tank explosions, and it's enough for me to not want to try and like hide it behind a towel and move it somewhere. Like it's just
I would just sell it. I'm sure you could get a company behind you just to like give you a new one.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm like, there's something like, there's a lot of things wrong with me, but like, I feel like I've like, there's a certain point, and I've been kind of like off the social media grid for a while now. And like, I just don't want to, I have a really hard time bringing myself to like reaching out to companies anymore. Like, I feel like I'm finally in a spot to where like, I can get deals and stuff, but like I really just don't want to. I don't want to like write. I don't want to do the whole correspondence thing.
Yeah,
I just don't like. I loathe like sending that email and trying to like validate myself and like, here's my media kit and here's what my numbers are and like maybe we can work together. And then like you wait 2 weeks and then you send an email and they're like, oh, let me forward this to my boss. And it's just like, most of the time now it's like, if I can, I just want to buy something and like have it immediately and not have to.
You know what you need, Zach? You need people.
What do you mean? That's why I don't send emails, is because I don't need people.
No, like an agent.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Have your people talk to my people.
Like if there was people that enjoy doing that, that would be like such an amazing augmentation to my life.
Yeah, there are agents out there, and they just take a chunk of the cut.
Yeah, I used to have one, and then he fell off the grid.
See, that's where I'm at. I don't know how anybody could enjoy like email correspondence. It's terrible. Like if I could get on the phone with somebody, like that's fine, because then it's just like here's where I'm at. Here's what I'd like to do. Are you in or are you not in? Like it's that simple. But like all the protocol of like, good evening, sir or Mrs. like blah 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 blah.
Oh, I don't even send emails. I just go directly to the social media person, like through Instagram.
Yeah, and then they like, then you see that then I turn into a teenage girl because I look every hour and I'm like, they saw the message 3 hours ago and they didn't write me back. Are they going to write me back? It's been a day, and you just turn into like a creep. Like I don't want to. I just no. I just don't want to do that.
Champagne problems.
Yes.
Well, on
We have
that
so
note,
many shirt ideas.
I think we've squandered enough time for 1 week. So wait until we come back next week, and then we'll squander enough time for an entire month.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys will just have to listen to each episode 4 times.
Yeah, that works.
It'll be that good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I think that's about it for now.
the
Anything I'm
next
forgetting?
one. Oh wait, are we doing another one next week?
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
it next week.
That's the first Thursday of the month next week. So we're
Yep.
starting the monthly.
Every first Thursday of the month,
Oh.
from then on out, we'll be doing a podcast.
So that is likely going to be the last podcast I do from the state of Florida.
Woohoo!
All right, everyone tune in because Zach's going to
It'll be a party.
burn the Florida state
I'm
flag.
finally going to unload and let everybody know what I really think of Florida on the next episode. So make sure you tune in.
Cool. I think that about does it. And until next time, have a wonderful day.
See you later.
Adios.
Bye.